This is Channel 25 WVTT Olean. Now, from the Twin Tiers' biggest broadcast news operation, this is the 6 o'clock report with Jeff Andrulonis and Alexa Olson. Listen on News Radio 96.7 WVTT or watch on News Channel 25 WVTT television. WVTT proudly presents the 6 o'clock report.
Good evening, I'm Alexa Olson.
And I'm Jeff Andrulonis. Good evening. Excitement across the Twin Tiers and literally excitement across the country tonight. It's Election Night 2012, and that's our big story here on the 6 o'clock report. WVTT's exclusive team coverage of Election Night 2012 begins right now.
That's right, Jeff. Republican vice presidential candidate Paul Ryan ended a 5-state day of campaigning Monday in his home state of Wisconsin. Ryan spoke to supporters at an airport rally in Milwaukee. Meanwhile, Vice President Joe Biden got an early start today. He headed to the polls in his home state of Delaware to cast his ballot in the presidential election. Afterwards, he said he was feeling pretty confident.
Every time I do it, this is the 8th time that I've run statewide in the state of Delaware, and it's always a kick. I mean, it really is to see people out here, and I hope everybody exercises their right to vote. It's a great honor, and people are standing in line a lot of places. I urge them to stand in line as long as you have to in order to vote.
Any prediction for tonight?
Oh, I'm feeling pretty good.
It's the last time you're going to vote for yourself, you think?
No, I don't think so. How you doing? Good.
Now, don't forget to make your voice heard today. You can still go to the polls and vote. New York polls are open until 9 tonight. Pennsylvania polls will close shortly. They're open until 8. Jeff?
Thanks, Alexa. Good advice. It's important to remember that every vote counts. And here at News Channel 25, we will watch races in addition to the presidential and vice presidential races. We have several contested races. Down in Pennsylvania, the race for the U.S. Senate between Republican challenger Tom Smith and incumbent Democrat Senator Bob Casey Jr. is more and more of a contest. Meanwhile, in New York State, also a race for the U.S. Senate between incumbent Democrat Senator Kirsten Gillibrand and the Republican challenger Wendy Long, that is. And in the newly created New York 23rd Congressional District, a race between Republican incumbent Tom Reed and Democrat challenger Nate Shinagawa. Complete election coverage here on News Channel 25 WVTT begins at 7 o'clock tonight. We'll be here all evening long calling the races, and tonight's election coverage is also being simulcast on the radio. That's on News Radio 96.7 WVTT. Now, many pollsters are predicting the races to be extremely tight with high voter turnout. WVTT's Valerie Tysander joins us live in the WVTT Digital News Center. She was out at several polling places earlier today. Valerie, what were the voters saying?
Well, Jeff, they were saying a lot of different things, but the one thing is for certain is this past year, the election has been very tight, long and vicious, but now all politicians can do is sit back and wait for voters to decide who will lead the country in the next 4 years. Election Day is here at long last after months of political ads, debates, and rallies. All that remains is decision time, and people are heading to the polling booths. In cars filled with people.
We just had a whole car full of people. We brought them in. Everybody was voting for somebody else, and we don't care.
Or just a furry friend.
That's a nice ugly doggy.
To cast their vote. Who and what voters believe can differ greatly, but they agree on one thing.
It's our right and it's our duty.
It's my patriotic duty. And it's a privilege. It's one of the few things we have left in America that's really ours.
The only chance that we get to decide who governs us.
And that's what they fought for, that we could get up and go to the voting booth and voice our opinion. No matter who likes it, it's our opinion.
Jessica Geary helped fight for the 18-year-old vote in the 1970s. She says if you can die for this country, you should be able to choose its leader. And she says she still remembers her first vote.
I was 19 going out for that first vote in 76. And they sent you huge voting pamphlets, and you studied every issue of every person representing, everybody for senator, you studied their background.
Like Jessica, many have been following the election carefully.
I try to stay informed on everything that's going on.
I have been monitoring social media throughout the day. I would say the top 10 most searched keywords all relate to the election. People are really getting out there to make sure their voices are heard. Polls here in New York close at 9. The ones in Pennsylvania close at 8. Live from the WVTT Digital Newsroom, I'm Valerie Tysaner. Back to you, Jeff.
Great reporting, Valerie. Thanks for keeping us up to date. Remember, continuing election coverage tonight here on News Channel 25, WVTT, and also on the radio at 96.7 FM. That live coverage begins at 7 o'clock tonight with Alexa and me.
Well, Jeff, polls across the country are showing Romney and Obama in a dead heat. So WVTT's Asha Masala did an unofficial poll to see which side the residents of Olean are choosing.
It's election 2012, folks, and there have been a lot of polls going on, so we decided to do a poll of our own. We went out and we got some Romney red and Obama blue beads, and we're going to go stand on the street and see which one is more popular. Come on, it's going to be fun.
Obama blue. Obama blue.
Blue?
Yeah. Thank you.
Right now, Obama is in the lead in our unofficial poll. Well, we tallied up the results, and Obama has come out on top with residents taking 11 strings of beads, while Romney supporters only took 7. Live from the WVTT Digital News Center, I'm Asha Masala. Back to you, Alexa.
Thanks, Ashley. Oh, hey, I guess I should wear these then. Oh, nice. Uh-oh.
Hey, that looks great,
election
Alexa.
Fashion here. Well, sporadic problems were reported Tuesday at polling places around the country, including confirmation in Pennsylvania involving Republican inspectors over access to some polls and a last-minute court fight in Ohio over election software. Now, one Florida election office mistakenly told voters in robocalls the election was on Wednesday, although the majority of the complaints were simply because of long lines, Jeff.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is trying to help facilitate voting for Empire State residents who were affected by Hurricane Sandy. The governor signed an executive order yesterday which provides voting access for any voter in who is registered in a federally declared disaster county in New York State. They're able to vote on an affidavit ballot at any poll site in New York State, regardless of where they're registered.
It looks brand new, but a memorial in War Vets Park is decades old. Crews have just finished restoring a memorial dedicated to one of Olean's founding fathers. Major Robert Hoops built a log cabin on the settlement, which Olean now stands. Before its restoration, the memorial was blackened and the bronze plaque was tarnished.
A Catholic nun accused of stealing over $100,000 from several churches in upstate New York is pleading not guilty tonight. 67-year-old Sister Mary Ann Rapp appeared in Town of Kendall Court last night to face charges of second-degree grand larceny. Over the course of 5 years, Sister Rapp is accused of stealing a total of $128,000 from St. Mark's Church in Kendall and St. Mary's Church in Holly. Sister Rapp was caught after the church she was working at performed an audit. Authorities believe that Sister Rapp was stealing from the churches to fund her habit of gambling at the Seneca Niagara Casino.
Jamestown police are asking the public for information to track down a man who robbed the First Niagara Bank on Spring Street Monday afternoon. They say the man walked in shortly after noon and handed the teller a note demanding cash. He fled on foot after receiving an undisclosed amount. But police now believe the bank robber who held up that bank in Jamestown also robbed a bank in Falconer and is responsible for several other robberies across New York State. He's described as a white male around 5 foot 10 inches and 160 pounds. He has light brown hair with a reddish blonde goatee. He was wearing wire rim glasses, a black leather coat, black pants, and a green button-up shirt, and a black Pittsburgh Pirates hat with the P on the front. Anyone with information is asked to call Jamestown police.
Meanwhile, Pennsylvania State Police have charged a New York man with rape. 46-year-old William Fornes of Ishua allegedly had unwanted sex with a juvenile in Rowlett Township in Potter County. Fornes faces multiple charges, including rape of a minor, indecent assault, and corrupting a minor. He's currently free on $20,000 bail. Still more coming up on the 6 o'clock report. Our first look at weather and also our global news update on the way here on News Channel 25 WVTT.